Ladies and gentlemen of the Kiss Army, welcome to episode 100 of the Kiss Army Things podcast. I am honored to be one of your hosts. My name is Xander.
And my name is Daphne.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. Today's episode is going to be jam-packed. It's going to be both straight out of time and out of this world.
Nice. And make sure to stick around to the end of the episode because we're going to be announcing the winner of our giveaway that we announced last week. So if you entered, you could be winning Classic 78's most recent album, Phantoms, along with this awesome t-shirt. So if you entered, make sure to stick around to see if you won.
Absolutely, yes. We're going to be doing our drawing out of the Paul Stanley Firehouse hat at the end of this episode.
As always.
And you know what? In 3 years and 99 episodes, we've been fortunate to have done a lot on this show. We've done, of course, like product reviews and unboxings and things like that. We've done giveaways and, our dream set list, and we've done concert reviews.
Yep.
I'm very grateful to have done concert reviews on this show because obviously the tour is over, and when we started this show, we had already seen our quote-unquote last Kiss show, saw 5 more after that. But throughout all the episodes and everything that we've done, we've never been able to do a new album review, a new Kiss album review. I mean, we've done album reviews from albums that have already been released, but I don't even think very many Kiss podcasts have ever been able to do a true new Kiss album review because the last Kiss album came out, in 2012, right? Like 12 years ago. So I decided that I was going to go on a journey of 1,000 years, nay, 100,000 years, into the void. You can call me a time traveler of sorts. And I brought back with me the last unofficial Kiss studio album right here. And so in the last episode, I gave Daphne an advance copy and told her to listen to this new Kiss album, Out of Time. And we're going to come back, and on episode 100, we're going to review this new album. So are you excited? How do you feel about that?
I'm very excited. I've really enjoyed listening to it, and I can't wait to talk about it. I'm excited to, even though I've been listening to it, I have not seen the actual CD cover that you've designed, the track list, or the name. I don't even know if it has a name, so I'm very excited to get into it. Yeah,
we're going to get into all this very soon. But, so obviously Kiss did not release a new album, so everybody, hopefully it didn't seem like a clickbaity title. It's supposed to be for fun. But yeah, I was somebody who was really happy with Sonic Boom and Monster and Kiss Rocks Vegas, and I was really looking forward to hearing another Kiss studio album. New Kiss has always been my favorite Kiss. You know what I mean? I mean, we're Kiss fans. We always want more Kiss. And so Monster for me is a top 5 favorite Kiss album of mine. And I love listening to it, but I just can't help but, want more.
Yeah.
Always have. Right. Always have. And so I thought, you know what? For episode 100, I don't want to just sit here and talk about the latest, Kiss news. I don't want to do some anniversary celebration or whatever. I want to do a new Kiss album review. And so the only way I could think of to do that was to assemble 11 tracks that feature collaborations from the various Kiss members over the last decade or so. And, came up with a brand new Kiss album.
Nice.
That's kind of my approach, basically. And so, obviously, there has to be some criteria with this. Otherwise, it would just be willy-nilly, and it wouldn't be as fun. So I made sure to, come up with some kind of criteria for this new Kiss album, and you guys, will probably know most of these songs, but if you're like us, you may be hearing this stuff kind of for the first time and finding out about this, because I had never heard of, obviously most of this stuff, yes, but there was a few tracks that I had never heard that was really surprising. So yeah, this is the exciting part, and so what you guys can do if you want, make your own CD, make a playlist somewhere, do whatever you want, and, have fun with the new Kiss album. So let's just get right into track 1. Daphne, you know what track 1 is, right?
Oh yeah, right here, right now.
Right here, right now. So this one, I feel like, is kind of... It's kind of an obvious choice. We're gonna start where we left off.
Right.
Right Here, Right Now was not on the standard Monster studio album. It was an iTunes bonus track, or you had to get the you had to buy the international tour edition.
Right.
This was the only version of the CD that actually came with the bonus track. I don't even think it was on the Japanese version.
Oh, interesting.
It had another bonus track. It was like I think King of the Nighttime World from Virginia Beach before Virginia Beach was actually released. So this was the only way that you could get a physical copy of Right Here, Right Now. And when you can also watch the music video on YouTube, so that'd be the easiest way to do it.
Right.
But I think this is a fantastic Kiss song. It's kind of like a glorified demo.
Yeah.
But it ended up making an official release or an official appearance on the international tour edition. But I thought, you know what, this is what's going to open up our Kiss album.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you did open it with that because, I mean, it's the only one, well, okay, except for maybe the last one. Oh, wow, I just see what you did there. But it's one of the only ones on the album that is actually a Kiss song.
Right,
You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's not...
Full band.
Right, it's full band. It's not a single member that had another member featured on it or anything like that. It's a Kiss song. It just doesn't really have a home anywhere unless you have this specific copy of the album.
Exactly.
And it has really grown on me because it's not one that I listen to since it doesn't really have an album home, like on streaming or anything like that. But I've only ever really listened to it when watching the music video on YouTube.
Right.
And even that only a handful of times. So getting to listen to it multiple times, like in the car, jamming to it, it's really, really growing on me. The lyrics are amazing.
Oh, it's a true Kiss song.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. Just the message is just so good about living in the moment. Yesterday's gone, tomorrow's always in doubt. Right here, right now.
And he says, live every day doing whatever's right for you.
Yeah.
He says, you're on your own, but you're not alone.
Yes.
Any way that you go. And I think that song has been criminally underrated.
Definitely.
Because it was kind of almost, even by the band, treated as a throwaway almost. It was like, let's make it as a bonus track and a bonus track on the album. We'll make it like a lyric video thing.
Right.
But it wasn't like it was played live or really heavily promoted in any sort of way. But the song itself is really, really good.
Agreed.
When we did our Monster album review, Jeb and I, on the 10th anniversary of Monster, we got to this song and kind of did a rush review of it because that was back in the days when we were limited by the time on the camera.
True,
We used to have a timer because our camera could only film
for so long. Yeah, before it would shut off.
So we had to make sure that we were, keeping time. So when we got to Right Here, Right Now, it was like, it's a good song. It was a good bonus track behind by, cool video.
Right.
So it's nice to be able to talk about it a little bit more because it has... I wouldn't say like some of my favorite Kiss lyrics, but has some amazing
just solid
Kiss lyrics.
Yeah.
What's the chorus say? You gotta hit them like a freight train coming.
Oh,
you drop
so
the pedal with the motor running.
Yes.
Right here, right now. Yesterday's always in doubt. Tomorrow, So today's that whole philosophy is great. I mean, it's pretty cliche Kiss and pretty cliche, rock and roll, I guess, but it's still empowering. It's still uplifting.
Yeah, and that kind of stuff
Everybody
is cliche
needs
for
that.
a reason because will always be relatable and will always be applicable to anyone.
Sure.
Yeah.
It feels like the message-wise, it feels kind of like a continuation of Live to Win.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because, Paul really, hit that message home on Live to Win, this idea that, if you fail, it doesn't matter. Get back up, move forward, win, live to win. Every day should be about being your best self, improving yourself, achieving what you want, achieving your goals, making goals, and, just always becoming, your best self, doing what you want to do, not being held down by what somebody else's idea of you is or should be, finding your own way. And sometimes it's hard, and sometimes you feel like you're alone, but you're not alone.
Right.
You're on your own, but you're not alone
Yes.
any way that you go. You have either the people around you, or at the very least, good music.
Yeah.
So, this is a really cool, fun song.
Yeah, I think it was a great choice for the opening track.
It's actually kind of an odd choice for an opener musically. I kind of realized this because usually the openers for Kiss albums are like huge sounding songs.
Yeah.
Like I Stole Your Love, just powerhouse.
Right.
Modern Day Delilah. This one kind of feels more akin to like Got to Choose.
Okay.
From Hotter Than Hell, where it's not slow, but it's not really like fast. It's just kind of like in the middle, right in the middle there. The song gets a lot more powerful and a lot heavier as it goes on. Once you get into that second chorus.
Yeah.
Man, I forget what the lyrics are in that second chorus, or not second chorus, second verse, but the rest is all up to you. You either stand or you crawl. Got a chance to break and run with the ball. Get up when you fall.
Yeah.
Something like that. It's just reaffirming this idea that, in life, you can feel bad about your situation or feel bad about yesterday or something that you did, but you can always change your present and always change your future and always look ahead. So Kiss, they, for better or for worse, they never look back. They've always kept a forward-facing, attitude. And so I like this song.
And
song is
there's also something in there about like even though you do set goals and like move forward, it's also like not being too anxious about the future, because like he says in the chorus, tomorrow's always in doubt, but like all you have is this present
moment right here.
To me, it's about living in this moment and not worrying about what's already passed and you can't do anything about, and not worry too much about the future that
hasn't even happened yet.
That hasn't happened and you can't control that much of. Like, worry about what you can control, which is right now. And
yeah,
I love that.
The only way to control your future is to control right now, because what you do right now will probably affect.
Absolutely.
So what you do right here, right now, matters.
Yeah. It's cliche, but it's also deep.
Exactly, exactly,
yeah.
Absolutely. So it's a really good Kiss song. I hope that people would go back and listen to it again. I know that because it came off of Monster, it's not the best produced track, and it has Tommy and Eric on it that some people might like, kind of want to give it a throwaway. But I think it's a great Kiss song, tried and true lyrically, musically. There's some snare parts that Eric is doing, like there's some snare rolls that feel very reminiscent of like something off of Destroy or something like King of My Time World.
Yeah, okay.
Something that you don't really get that often, and there's some really cool drum fills. Eric, not like really complicated drum fills, but just some really cool drum fills that Eric has during a breakdown section where Paul's like saying to live life any way that you dare, and it's just a really cool song. I love it.
Agreed.
The second song, so here we go. So the first song obviously is a Kiss song. Part of the criteria of this new quote-unquote Kiss album is that each song has to feature at least 2 members of Kiss.
Okay.
Has to feature at least 2 members of Kiss. Past or present, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as they were a member of Kiss, they can, and there's 2 members of Kiss featuring on one track that came out within the last, 10 or 15 years or so. That's the criteria for the album.
And I think that's totally fair, because there's plenty of Kiss songs that technically only feature one member. So,
right.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
so
exactly.
It's not even like a stretch.
Exactly. So
yeah.
this was meant to have, it was meant to be fun, a little bit challenging.
Yeah, I like
and
that.
meant to be, as Kiss as possible, because these guys have released a lot of great music.
Yeah.
The members in and out of Kiss have released a lot of great music in the last decade plus.
Agreed.
It's just that because the industry isn't the way it was back in the 70s or even the 80s and 90s, and because there is no necessity for the band to pump out music like that anymore, because it's they've already done that. Like you have to make music to perform music and to get big, but now that you don't have to constantly, I mean, you can if you want to keep grinding, but Kiss always found it better to, rather than being holed up in the studio writing songs that people may or may not like, why not play for 1 million people songs that we're going to go over well live.
That they already like.
It's a win-win for both.
Yeah,
so
when you
I
already have
that.
such a popular catalog, I understand. Yeah.
So I understand why Kiss did not do another studio album. It makes sense. But again, I'm going back to my senior year in high school. I just heard Monster. Now I'm in college, and I'm waiting for the next Kiss album.
Yeah,
I just saw Kiss on the 40th anniversary tour.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go, guys. Get cracking in the studio.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is, like, we kind of thought there was going to be another one for a while there.
Yeah.
Like, it'd be one thing if they said that Monster was the last one, but they didn't. They actually were teasing another one. And, like, Gene was saying things, which, I mean, we all know we can't always trust everything that comes out of Gene's mouth.
Paul was saying that he wanted to do one more.
Yeah, and they were hinting at things, and so we really were expecting one. So that's...
And then it became maybe, and then it became we'll see, and then it became not likely, and then it became no.
Yeah.
And then the road tour was announced. So, we're just going to assume that, there's a new Kiss album in the works, and this is it right here. And so the next song on the album is called Are You Ready? Are you ready? And this is actually a Gene Vault track.
Okay.
Yeah, so this was the lead track, the lead sample off of the Vault.
I think I had heard this one before.
Probably.
But pretty much all the Gene songs that you have on here, I had no idea where they were from. I was like, where did this come from?
For sure.
A lot of them I hadn't heard at all. This one I definitely recognized. The chorus is very recognizable.
Yeah.
Very catchy. We were literally singing it while setting up. You asked me if I was ready to film, and I started singing, Are you ready?
That's great.
Yeah, it's very catchy. It's a very good song.
So the song is obviously a demo. This is a demo off of the Vault, and this was demoed around the Sonic Boom and Monster era.
That makes sense.
The demo allegedly does feature Tommy and Eric.
Okay, wow.
Which I think is really cool.
Wow, so we got three members. That's cool.
Obviously, Gene and Paul never really demoed together.
Right.
They would always write songs by themselves. and then have, you know, studio musicians or friends or whatever do demos.
Right.
And they would bring those ideas together and kind of flesh through them. So you don't really have any demos with Gene and Paul on them together, which is unfortunate.
Right.
But to have a demo of Gene with Tommy and Eric is fantastic.
That is cool.
And yes, so this one, you know, again, was the lead sample off of The Vault. So a lot of Kiss fans have probably ever heard this. If not, it's on YouTube. Go check it out. It's also going to be, I'm trying to make a playlist of this album on YouTube so you guys can hear as much of it as possible. Not all these songs are on Spotify. Again, Gene's Vault tracks, some of these demos. Not everything is everywhere to be able to put on one playlist. But I'm going to do my best for YouTube. So check our playlist section on YouTube. You can check this song out. If not, again, it's on YouTube. Really cool. But lyrically, it's very unfinished.
Yeah.
The first lyrics are, "Thanks for nothing, I ain't lying, well, you can stick it where the sun don't shine." And which I gotta admit, bending the word shine to rhyme.
It's very Gene.
It's very Gene, and it works, but not for the first line.
No.
That's something that you put as your second or third, or, you know, even maybe in the second verse, you know. But to open up with that, you can really tell that this was obviously just, you know, getting an idea that was on pen and paper onto a track.
Well, and there's also lyrics in it that ended up being lyrics of other songs.
Yes.
Like, I think the very next line, give me a kiss, bite your lip.
Open up and let your backbone slip.
Yeah, like, we know that lyric that's on Sonic Boom.
It's like, yes, absolutely. So I think this song, lyrically and a little bit of the riff, ended up becoming Eat Your Heart Out.
Yes.
On Monster.
Yeah.
Because I think those lyrics directly are lifted from Eat Your Heart Out on Monster. But he says backbone slip on another song on Sonic Boom.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I'm trying to remember what it was. I really can't remember. I think it's either Russian Roulette or... I think it's Russian Roulette.
Russian Roulette, yep.
He says, let your backbone slip. Now, what does that mean?
I don't.
Backbone slip. This is something that Kiss fans have been wondering for a while, and even myself, really, too.
Yeah, and the only idea I have, I'm not going to say on YouTube.
Well, for sure. So here's the thing, though, is that I couldn't stand it anymore. I was like, I need to know what this is. And so I went on a deep dive.
Oh, no.
To figure out what at least the origins are and the original meaning of backbone slip. And so I'll try and explain it the best way I can. But I ended up finding an entire essay that somebody wrote on the internet. Maybe I'll link it if I can find the link again. I don't know, but I was fascinated by it because it was an entire essay, basically, written on African-American folk song lyrics. So this term, backbone slip, is actually used in a lot of like R&B music. It's used in a lot of spoken word African-American folk songs that were passed down orally.
Okay.
And so what I found out was that it's actually a dance.
Oh.
The backbone slip. Put your hands on your hips and let your backbone slip.
Okay.
So it's kind of like...
Yeah.
It literally translates to let your spine bend.
Right.
You know, backbone, spine, slip, bend, move.
Okay, like sway,
so
kind of.
It's a swaying, very moving your hips, bending your knees.
Okay.
Kind of like the twist, but not quite as not quite as forceful. It's just let your backbone slip. You're just kind of letting your, you know, and
just kind of the way your body naturally moves to music without you actually doing choreography.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I ended up doing some research about some lady named Bessie Jones. Have you heard of Bessie Jones? So Bessie Jones is an African American. Gospel singer. Okay. Gospel singer, and she wanted to preserve a lot of the spoken, you know, folklore that, you know, she learned when she was a kid, and that was passed down to her. Yeah. And so she would go around to all these like schools or wherever, I don't know, and she would sing to kids. And one of the best known examples of this, you know, backbone slip thing that I could find was Bessie Jones singing to kids this little song or game called Little Sally Walker.
Okay, I know.
Where people stand in a circle, or one person, there's a big circle. I think I could be getting this wrong. This is just what I learned in the moment doing research for a friggin' Kiss album. But anyway, so a bunch of people stand in a group in a circle, and then one person will go into the middle, and then you rotate in and out. And kind of like the hokey pokey, you know, you follow the words to the song. So you put your right foot in, you put your right foot out. So in this way, you put your hands on your hips, let your backbone slip, put your right foot in, and do this and do that. And so it's kind of like a game or a song.
Yeah, well, you sang Little Sally Walker, like, triggered a memory in my head from childhood. Like, I think when I was a kid, it was like kind of like a jump rope kind of
Little Sally Walker
walking down the street.
Yep.
I don't remember anything after that.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's one of the things like ringing around the rosy.
Right.
When you're a kid, you just say these little sing-songy little rhymes.
Right, but most of them have very old origins like that.
Exactly.
So that's really interesting.
So this backbone slip.
Okay.
Now,
you
Gene,
doing research.
Yeah, so Gene obviously, you know, would have had perhaps some influence from an R&B song or an R&B artist, or maybe even, you know, something from this nature. But clearly, yeah, like you said, he's lifting it and applying it to a new meaning.
Yeah, I think he's
open
making
up
it,
and let your backbone
He's making
slip.
it sexual.
He's making it more sexual than just a dance.
Just dance.
Yeah,
but that's really interesting.
So I think Gene is taking this idea, and then he's like sort of putting a rock and roll twist on it, because he knows that the average person isn't going to know what that means.
Right.
So he's letting us use our imagination, if you will.
Okay.
But I thought that was kind of fascinating.
That's really cool.
Because again, you hear this stupid lyric on Russian Roulette, you
Right.
hear it again on Monster. Well, now you're hearing it on the third Kiss studio album,
right?
Post Psycho Circus, and so you have like this trilogy now of backbone slipping, and so there you go. Yeah, there's
That's so interesting.
There's a little lesson for you.
I have to say, every time I hear that lyric, I will never not be able to think of a clip that we have on a video that's way far back on this YouTube channel, where we did a video of one of the Kiss expos we went to, where we shot random footage of us at the expo meeting Eric Singer, talking to Eric Singer. And there's this little clip we have where obviously they're playing Kiss music at the expo in the event hall or whatever. And one of those songs is on. And you actually, in the video, were playing the song. And then,
Eat Your Heart Out.
Yes, Eat Your Heart Out. And then Eric, like, sings along to it.
Come on, baby, let your backbone slip.
Yep, he sings along to it. It was perfectly timed,
Yeah.
and I couldn't believe that the camera was rolling.
It's
and
so good.
I had to include that in the video. Yeah, that was our 2015 Expo highlight reel.
Yes, I think of that every time.
Great, that was awesome. So yeah, this was a fun song, even though it lyrically isn't, you know, the most developed.
Right.
Still a really fun song. The solo rips.
The solo does rip. I was gonna say that.
Tommy's solo is nasty, and I don't know if this is one that was like rehearsed, and he was like, okay, I need to come in with a solo. This could be on the album. You know, got to impress Gene. I got to impress Paul. Whatever it is, you know. Or if it was something that he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna lay it down.
Just gonna wing it.
It's a demo. It doesn't matter anyway. It's a Gene song. It probably won't even end up on the album anyway. So you know, whatever it is, you know, I don't know if it was like a planned
I hope
solo
it was
or
improvised.
not. But
that's cool.
either way, it's a nasty.
It's good.
Gnarly solo, and Gene does a couple of these like little ow 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 things,
Yes,
which
I love when he does
are
that.
really fun, and it makes me think of like, I don't know, like ZZ Top or something.
Yeah.
Like LaGrange by
Okay,
ZZ Top.
okay.
Ow ow ow.
Yeah.
I don't know. I could be getting that mixed up with some other band, but it's a really fun track.
It is.
Because even though it isn't, you know, a serious demon song, the idea is, are you ready to have a good time? That's the lyric that is repeated the whole time.
Yeah.
And that's what I wanted this episode and this album to be.
Yeah, it's a great
just a
great
good
track
time.
too. Because
It's a great track too.
Yeah, because I think the first one, I mean, I think it's always great to open up with the Paul song, and it's just Right Here, Right Now was a great opener. But as far as the first Gene song on the album, like still leading into it, yeah, I think it was a really good choice.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. And the ending of it sounds kind of like Strutter. There's a drum beat that Eric goes button 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 boom.
Okay.
That has I don't know if that was actually intentional or not, but when I heard it, my first thought was that sounds like the outro to this song sounds like the intro to Strutter.
Okay.
Which is kind of a fun thing.
Yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
cool. That's
and
neat.
he actually plays this live. Gene does.
Okay.
He played this at
This
the
song?
Yes.
Oh.
At the last that show we talked about, the Gene Simmons solo show where Tommy
Okay,
came out. He
okay.
played this song live.
Okay.
And he played it live on his last solo tour too. So this is one that actually gets played live.
It has a great chorus. Like, even though it's very simple and very I don't want to say generic, but like classic Gene.
Classic Gene.
But it's really catchy, and they get stuck in your head, and it's a solid chorus. I like it.
And for a demo, it's actually really good quality.
It is, yeah. I'm surprised that it's just a demo.
Because you listen to Right Here, Right Now, and it's a glorified demo from Monster, but this demo sounds really good.
Yeah, and like it's not jarring hearing those songs back to back. Like they're produced pretty similarly. So,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I wanted to make sure this album flowed a specific way.
Yeah.
You know, we're used to albums starting off usually with a Paul song, Modern Day Delilah.
Mm-hmm.
Even Psycho Circus did. Monster did, and so this album did as well with Right Here, Right Now. You get a nice Gene song, number 2. And with track number 3, you have one of the best cuts on the album, Fire and Water.
Every way that's nice to show. You've got a heart made of ice and
Oh yes.
So this is an Ace Frehley song that, well, it's a song by Free, Matt Frehley. The original band was called Free that recorded this song back in like 1970, I think. But on Ace's Origins album, he had Paul do the vocals for this while he did the guitar.
Yeah, it's so good.
So there's your 2 Kiss members right there.
Yeah.
It was on Origins Volume 1, 2016, somewhere around there. But oh my gosh, when this came out, this turned the Kiss world upside down.
Yeah.
Having Paul and Ace collab for the first time, probably since Psycho Circus.
Wow. Yeah.
I can't think of anything that they would have done together since Psycho Circus. So this was like pretty monumental because it was pretty clear that they were not, you know, on the best working terms. You know,
Right.
they tolerate each other over the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. That was fine, but you know, there's always been just a little bit of
Tension.
tension between
Yeah.
those guys. And
Absolutely.
So, but to see them get together.
There's a music video too, isn't there?
There is a music video.
I thought so because
and
I
it's
remember
kind
when
of-
this came out.
It feels kind of forced, the video, because they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Ace, Paul Stanley, let's rock together, man." You know,
Yeah.
like old times. But it's whatever. It was still really cool to see them on stage together in a performance setting.
Yeah.
The video opens with Paul's shattered mirror on one side and Ace's Les Paul on the other.
I need to rewatch this.
And yeah, it's a great video.
Yeah.
We actually should watch this
Yeah.
video when we're done with this. Now that we're talking about this, because when I made this album for her, I was like, we can't talk about this.
I know.
Like,
We've been like skirting around it, trying
Yes.
not to talk about it
I
too
was like,
much.
because I've been working on this for a long time.
Yes.
And when I gave you a copy, I was like, listen to it. We'll tell
Save
it.
your thoughts
We'll
for
save
the
your
pod.
thoughts. Yeah, save your thoughts for the album or for the episode. We'll get to it. But this has always been a fantastic collaboration. So the original song is good. Of course it is. And Paul and Ace are fans of the band Free.
Yeah.
Which makes it even more special. It wasn't just a willy-nilly song. You know, that was a band that both of them loved and still love. It's a song they both love, and so here they are playing together on it. I think Paul even co-produced it,
Okay.
which is really cool. But yeah, so you have Paul on vocals and Ace on lead guitar, and it's
Paul
smokes.
sounds amazing.
He does.
I wish I should have gone and listened to the original song because I don't think I've heard it. I don't think I.
For sure.
I don't think I know this song. So I'll have to do that as well to kind of compare. But
Absolutely.
it's fantastic. This song sounds like Paul Stanley wrote it, honestly, and it sounds like it was written for him and for his voice.
Yeah.
I love it so much.
Yeah, he sings in a more mid to low tone.
Yeah.
For his voice.
Which really
Which-
suits his voice,
Which
like
kind of
in the modern age.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and also, you know, the original version of the song wasn't something that was powerful, you know.
Right.
It was just a normal,
No,
normal
it's
chill
kind of,
rock
yeah,
song.
it's a chill
So
vibe. Yeah.
Ace and Paul, they definitely kissified it because it is more powerful.
Yeah.
The guitar is way heavier. You know, Paul's vocals are obviously, you know, more sharp, more upfront, more prominent. But even then, you know, there is still some restraint. It's a nice, like, soothing rock song.
Yes, his voice. He has a lot of control over his voice.
He does.
And it's very good.
I love this song.
Me too.
It's a great.
It's one of my
great-
favorites on this for
It,
sure.
it really is. Ace's solo is like long, and when
Yeah.
the song came out originally, I was like, man, he really should have cut that solo in half. It just goes on, and it's so long and blah. Now I get lost in it.
Yeah.
And
I
when
didn't
and-
even notice that it was that
And
long.
when it ends, I have to come out of it. You know, like I have to
Right.
kind of like, oh,
Puts you in a
snap, we're
trance.
back into the song now. But no, it's an amazing track, and you can kind of tell that it was not done together. You can hear, you know, where Paul's vocal track will begin and end and all that.
Right.
But, you know, obviously, you know, Kiss is over here doing this, Ace is here doing this.
Yeah, fair
In the
enough.
modern day, you can send tracks back and forth
Yeah.
now. So
And it's cool enough that they even did this project together.
I really hope that there's another collaboration with them in the future.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about this, again, new Make Believe Kiss album is that it's not just confined to Gene, Paul, Eric, and Tommy.
Right.
It's not supposed to be. You know,
Exactly.
this album is an album where it's like, hey, you know, maybe Gene, Paul, Eric, and Tommy are still the, you know, the core Kiss, the four guys in Kiss, but you're also seeing features from other guys in the band.
Yeah.
And so this is a track that, let's say, you can put this right over there if you want.
Absolutely.
So this is a track that you can imagine, Kiss is in the studio writing and recording an album. They have the first two songs Right Here, Right Now, and Are You Ready? And they're like, you know what? We should get Ace. We should call Ace up, see if he wants to be on the album. And he says, yeah, we should do a cover. And it's like, oh, okay, yeah, what should we do? What about that old song, Fire and Water by Free? We used to listen to that back in the day. Oh, perfect, man. Why don't you come down and we'll cut that track? So in my mind, it'd be really cool to have Ace, coming back into the studio, laying down this lead, and having, I could even see maybe Peter playing drums on this song, or even the next one that we're going to get to. But obviously Peter is not on this album because he's been largely inactive as far as releasing music
in general,
goes. But again, I wanted to have more members than just Gene, Paul, Eric, and Tommy.
Yeah,
so
I'm
here
glad.
you have Ace shredding
Yeah.
on Fire and Water. What a great solo. And actually, you know what? Let's just keep the Ace train going. Because track number 4 is called Without You, I'm Nothing.
Without you, I'm nothing. And you're my ticket to ride.
I had never heard the song before.
Neither had I.
Yeah,
Well,
never.
no, actually, I had, but I'd forgotten all about it.
Right.
I forgot
You
all
maybe
about
heard it once while listening to an album. Yeah.
when it came out. 'Cause
Yeah.
Now, this one, I think, is the opener to his album Spaceman, which
Okay.
came out in 2018.
Okay.
So this was an album that I didn't even buy.
This isn't the opener of that album?
This is the opener, I believe,
Interesting.
to the album.
Okay.
I could be getting that wrong,
Okay.
but I'm pretty sure this is the album opener on Spaceman from his 2018 album. So this was one that, I probably listened to Jeb's copy maybe once, or heard the song when it was released once and kind of just forgot about it. But this one is truly special because it features another appearance from a Kiss member. You obviously have Ace on guitars on Ace's solo album, but you have Gene Simmons on bass.
Really?
It features Gene Simmons on bass.
That's cool.
And I'm pretty sure that this is also the first time that they had collaborated since Psycho Circus. And again, I could be getting that wrong, but I'm trying to think of when these guys would have done something together. But no, so finally in 2018, you have, Gene and Ace, playing nice, getting together.
Cool.
The only thing I'm confused on, though, is whether or not the bass track was recorded originally for this song particularly. Because when you listen to the song, they almost sound like they were recorded... I mean, obviously they were recorded in different locations, but the Gene's bass track in particular sounds like it was an old demo
From a different song? Okay.
that he just gave the bass track to Ace.
Interesting.
And Ace either wrote the song around it, or the bass fit in perfectly with the song, and that's why
Right.
Gene gave it to Ace. But I don't know. It could be a fresh bass track. I don't know. To me, it sounds like a Gene demo, and I almost wanted to say it was something that had been released on one of the box sets, or maybe had been released in the vault or something like that. So if anybody listens to that bass line, and Without You, I'm Nothing off of Ace's album Spaceman, and you listen to that bass track and you think it sounds familiar, let me know where you think it's from, because to me it does sound like Gene maybe had rehashed that and gave it to Ace, but I don't know.
Interesting.
It's still cool to see Gene and Ace
I
on a
need to
track
re-listen
together.
to it, with the bass line in mind, so I can understand that. But I really like this song. It has a really interesting melody to it. It's very low and goes down a lot. Without you, I'm nothing.
Yeah.
And I also really enjoy the Beatles reference. You're my ticket to ride.
Oh, and You're My Ticket to Ride. I did not actually pick up on that, babe.
Yeah.
Thank you. See, that's why I wanted her to review the album.
Love
'cause
a good Beatles reference.
That's cool. So what's the referencing? What song?
Ticket to Ride.
Ticket to Ride. Okay, the song that Ticket to Ride.
Yes.
Perfect. There you go. That's really cool. Yeah, obviously the guys in Kiss are huge Beatles fans. So
Yeah.
no, I kind of subconsciously knew that, but did not even.
Yeah.
I didn't
the first thing I noticed.
realize that was your Ticket to Ride. Perfect. Yeah, no, the lyrics in this song are great. There's one of my favorite lyrics in the song. He says, "Through the years, I've hit some walls. I've broke some hearts and I've broke some balls."
Yes, that
And
one
I
made me
love
laugh.
that. And he says, "But I'm still here with no regrets."
Okay.
No Regrets was the name of his autobiography.
Okay, so that's another little...
So it's kind of a bar.
It's self-referential.
It's kind of
That's
a bar.
cool.
Yeah, it's a little self
I
yeah.
like that.
But he says, through the years, I've hit some walls, I made some mistakes, I've broke some hearts, I've broke some balls,
No regrets, though.
I've busted the guys in Kiss's balls, broke some hearts, and,
Yeah.
it's like, but I'm still here with no regrets. So,
Cool.
So this song, it's perfect Ace, it's perfect Spaceman.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I went back and found this song, because I've been
Yeah.
sleeping on it for a long time.
Yeah, and listening to some of these songs that I didn't know, especially because we weren't really talking about this at all. I was curious, like, who else? Because I knew your criteria that there had to be like, at least 2 Kiss members on it,
Right.
And I was like, who else is on this? So now I need to go back and re-listen, knowing that it's Gene on bass. That's neat.
That'll be the fun thing now.
Yeah.
Is going back and
Yeah,
listening to
there'll be
it
more to
with,
fathom. I
with
love
the
it.
knowledge that we have.
Yeah.
But kind of like a new album, you don't always know.
Right.
Maybe you've heard a song or two because the singles.
Yeah.
But you're actually hearing the album for the first time. And so, speaking of another song that I forgot, actually, I believe Gene was also a co-writer on that song.
Okay.
I didn't actually get any confirmation of that, but I do believe that Gene may have been a co-writer with Ace on that song as well as playing the bass.
Nice.
Which is really cool because again, the more collaborations, the better in my mind. But anyway, so this next song was one that I also forgot about. It's called "Ain't Gonna Die." This features Gene on vocals, but this is a Bruce Kulick song. This song, "Ain't Gonna Die," is...
Whoa, that shocked me. I just thought this was another...
That's an Ace song, babe.
I know.
I'm sorry, I'm just playing. No, but so yes, this is track number 2.
Wow, I thought this was just another Gene demo or something.
Another rando from Gene.
Cool.
This is an
Kulick song.
this is an actually fully produced and actually released track. I Ain't Gonna Die.
Okay.
It's a great song.
It's a cool song.
It is.
It's a banger.
This is track 2 off of BK3.
Cool. Okay.
So this came out in 2010. And I can remember going and buying the album. I have since lost that copy, but I bought this new one.
Nice.
I actually opened it on the show several episodes ago and was like, yeah, I needed a copy of Bruce Kulick's album.
Yes, I remember that.
I didn't tell you guys why. It's because
See, I didn't
I'm
even
making
know.
a new Kiss album.
I didn't even
and
know.
I gotta have the track that features, Bruce and Gene together.
Nice.
But yeah, so this would have been the first time that you have Bruce and Gene on a track, probably since Carnival of Souls and Revenge, and it really gives you that Carnival of Souls feel, that Revenge feel. But the reason why this album stuck out to me, I guess the reason why I forgot about this song is because there's a song on there called, I think, Hand of the King. Is that it?
Yeah, featuring Nick.
Featuring Nick Simmons.
Wow.
So I was really surprised to see Nick on a track with Bruce. And so when I went and bought the album, I kind of bought it for that reason right there.
Right.
I wanted Bruce's new album. I also wanted to hear Nick, and I wanted to hear them both on the album. And I must have just forgotten about that song, Ain't Gonna Die, because when I heard it, a rush of memories came flooding by, which, again, the ones I'm talking about now, going to Walmart and actually buying the album like sophomore year. But I just, over the years, have forgotten about that song. But I love it. I absolutely love it. It's I don't know if it's co-written by Gene or not. I couldn't get any verification on that, who it was written by, if it was written by Bruce and Gene and somebody else.
Well,
Does it list?
I mean, if these names in parentheses are the writers, then yes. And then I assume so. It says Gene Simmons, Bruce Kulick,
And there's a
and
third guy.
Jeremy Rubolino?
Okay,
Rubolino.
so exactly. So that's what made me think that it was co-written by Gene.
I think that's what those names are in parentheses.
Yeah, for sure.
And if that's the case, then Nick also co-wrote the song that he's on. That's
really cool.
I need to check that one out.
Yeah, all I do is borrow this album and you can check it out.
Yeah. I really like this one. I really like I just love when Gene sings real low like that.
This one has some really good. It's revenge vocals.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
That's it. It's those low, like gravelly kind of like
gravelly.
Just the first line where he says, "People say I'm always using my fame." That's so good. I just noticed that he says, "Eat your heart out" in this song.
Yep, eat your heart out. Yeah, so again, that's what makes me think that, like, again, in my mind, it's like, aha, see,
he definitely wrote that.
He's calling back to the last Kiss album, even though at the time, Eat Your Heart Out hadn't even came out yet.
Right, but he loves to use some of the same little phrases in different songs, so I feel like that was definitely handwritten. There's also one featuring Eric Singer as well. I'm an Animal.
I'm an Animal, yeah. So that one could have been a contender for the album, but the vocalist...
Yeah.
And I felt bad excluding him, because I'm sure the vocalist, he does a great job.
Right, but I do feel like, to fit on this album, the vocalist needs to be a Kiss member.
Yeah, it needs to be a Kiss member.
Yeah,
So, yes,
I agree.
there was a track with Eric Singer, which I thought was really cool, but I didn't make it on this album. Now, having said that, though, I could definitely see Eric Singer playing the drums to this song, Ain't Gonna Die.
Yeah.
Because, again, I think Brent Fitz is the guy's name who plays the drums on this song. I could be getting that wrong. But he does a fantastic job.
Yeah.
And I could see Eric Singer taking over and just ripping it. Because again, it feels very much like a revenge song.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy.
Carnival of Souls.
Yeah.
It's like Carnival of Souls mixed with like Within.
Yep.
Because you mentioned that Sonic Gene voice, always using my thing.
Oh, it's so cool.
And then the chorus is, what's he say? He says, I keep them wondering why. And these big long notes. There's a fire deep inside.
Yeah.
And he's using that revenge Psycho Circus, that 90s gene.
Yes. Yeah, it's
and
very
Bruce
cool.
was on Revenge, Carnival, and Psycho Circus.
Yeah, I like this one a
So
lot.
this album, that we're making here today is, again, it's as Kiss as possible.
Yeah.
And this was the song that I just slept on. So if you guys have never heard Ain't Gonna Die off of
Highly
Bruce's
recommend.
album BK3, dude, it's like as if Gina was possessed by Mr. Blackwell himself. I mean, that's how I would describe it. I love it.
That's good.
It's super awesome. And at the end, Bruce's, of course, his solo is nasty,
So
tasty.
good.
He gets some really unique tones out of the album, and as the song is fading out into the outro, you have some really wild guitar sounds, some maybe other digital synth sounds happening. You have some wild effects on Gene's vocals.
yes.
And then, again, the drummer is just letting loose with a series of fills as it fades out. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Because the production starts to change.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's no longer... So far, it's been a very tried and true, straight-ahead rock song with not really a whole lot of extra curves. But at the end of this song, you start to get a lot of this like twisted, weird sonic
Yes.
things happening, which, in my mind, perfectly sets up the next song on the album. Samurai Son.
Call me the samurai son.
This is a song that, of course, obviously features the full band. Gene, Paul,
you're right.
Eric, and
Okay.
Tommy.
So there's at least 3 full Kiss songs. on
There
here.
is
Okay.
There's 3? No, this is... I think there's only 2.
The last one is...
It's not Full Kiss.
Yeah, but it's...
We'll get to that.
Okay,
We
okay,
won't
okay.
spoil
Let's
that.
not spoil.
Yeah,
Okay.
we won't talk about that. We'll get to there. But so this song, Samurai Son, obviously does feature the 4 guys in Kiss. And
Yeah.
I know that this song has kind of left a bad taste in people's mouths over the years because of, again, it wasn't a new Studio Kiss album. That's
Right.
what we wanted.
Yeah.
Instead, it wasn't even for us. So we heard this new single for a different market that was appealing to a different audience. And it just wasn't for us. And it was like, okay, well, where's the new next Kiss album? And so I feel like Samurai Son has left people with a bad taste in their mouth. But when I first heard it, I was like, I like it. I'm not going to say it's the best Kiss song ever because it's not. But I like it a lot. After hearing it on this album and actually learning the lyrics and just hearing it a lot more, I love this song a lot more.
I'm obsessed, and I think everybody needs to go back and refathom because, just go into it with an open mind because it is a fantastic song.
It's a really great...
It is so well produced. I can't I'll be driving and I love every song on this album you've created, but I will crank this one up.
This is the
because
best produced
it is a
song on the
jam.
album.
It's so good.
Yes. So obviously, right here, right now, people were kind of upset with the way Monster was produced or not produced. You have
Right.
some Gene demos on this album. But with Samurai Son, you're actually getting a full-fledged, full-scale produced track. It starts
it's
out
majestic.
thunderous. I mean,
Yes.
it's like doom, 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 doom. It's like,
I love
it's
it.
huge. And you hear that it builds up, and it has everything you want in a Kiss song. I mean, it's got pick scratches. You got Eric leading with the floor tom and the drums, and it's got some really great, Tommy Thayer licks, some great gang vocals, backing vocals.
Yeah, there's just so
But-
much cool extra stuff in there.
the Eastern sort of like
Yeah.
I don't know what you call them.
I don't know.
But
Sparkly sounds. I don't know
the
what it
sparkly
is.
sounds are
I
really
don't
good.
know.
But when you hear them, you hear the Japanese sort of like vibe of the
Yes,
song and
100%.
the influence, and it's really cool. It's very unique for Kiss, very left field.
Yeah.
But no, this song is a real treat.
It's so good. I've been enjoying learning the lyrics too. Call me the samurai son. Cross the line, take what's mine. The trouble has just
yes,
begun.
when you cross the line and take what's mine, your trouble's just
That's
begun.
so good.
That's pretty hard. It's pretty hardcore. Yeah. So again, I think that lyrics on this song have been slept on.
Yeah, agreed.
And even by myself, which I knew the lyrics to the song mostly, but what I didn't realize was there was some like Japanese lyrics, there was Japanese lyrics that the girls were singing in the background that were that I got translated.
Oh, okay.
And realized that
I hear them, but I didn't realize that they were
they're counting.
okay.
I did not. Again, it's funny how the song's been out for almost 10 years, and you're just now understanding things. So what's happening is they're counting in the background.
Okay.
So, for instance, it says 1, 2. That's what the girls say. 1, 2.
In English?
No.
In Japanese.
yes.
Okay,
So
okay.
each, ni.
Yeah.
San, shi. I can count now in Japanese.
Cool.
I learned how to count in Japanese.
Cool.
We're learning about Japanese culture, African American culture.
love
This
it.
album is incredible.
Yeah.
No, but like seriously, so you have the girl saying, 1, 2. Paul says, Osaka calling. 3, 4. Calling my name. 5, 6. Catch me, I'm falling. 7, 8. And I'll never be the same.
Cool.
So this song lyrically is way cooler than I ever gave it credit for.
Yeah.
Because it's not only autobiographical for Kiss,
Yeah.
it's almost like Kissin' Time, but for Japan. It's like Rockin' in the USA, but Rockin' in Japan.
You're right.
Because in Kissin' Time, it's Wake Up Charlotte, San Diego, Milwaukee, all these
Right.
different places.
Yeah.
Rockin' in the USA, you got Germany's really neat, and, but Rockin' in the USA, that's where I want to be. So you have this song, which is the same thing, but for
Japan.
For Japan.
Yeah.
The opening line, I took a flight into Tokyo.
To the land of the rising
Into the land
sun.
of the rising sun. I heard my song on the radio.
Yeah.
Blow my mind like a shot from a gun, bar. So this song, and that's exactly what happened to Kiss when they went
Yeah.
to Japan in 1977.
Right.
They go to Japan, and they took a flight. They hear their song because they're huge on the radio over Japan. They're big over there. Their first tour over in Japan, they're hearing Osaka calling their name. Catch Me, they're falling. They're never going to be the same. Once it builds into the chorus, though, is when it gets really good because you have now Gene, Eric, and Tommy in the background saying cat's eyes, so wide, heads high.
Okay. I hear those vocals, but I didn't understand what they were saying.
Yeah. So once it builds into the chorus again, and I'll never be the same, cat's eyes, so wise, heads high. The girls in the background say, go Shogun, which I was like, Shogun in Japanese culture is like military, like the highest level, one of the highest levels in the military.
Okay.
Shogun, I looked this up, in a hierarchical sense, Shogun is above samurai.
Oh, okay.
So if you're the samurai son, well, why don't you go Shogun? Why don't you go one more? Why don't you go up one?
Wow.
So I don't know if the context is saying go Shogun, as in like Kiss is Shogun, like, go Kiss, go.
Yeah.
Or if they're saying go all out, go Super Saiyan, go
Right.
crazy,
Yeah, go nuts.
go Shogun. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't care because either way it's badass.
Yeah, that's cool either way.
Either way, it's
love it.
badass. Cat's eyes, so wise, heads high, go Shogun. What does Kiss do? They wake up to make up to shake it up.
Yeah.
Those are the lyrics too. Again, go Shogun. Ready now to start the show. You can't run away from what you know. Can you feel it? Can you feel it?
I love
I
that.
can feel
I love
it.
that part. Can you feel it?
Can you feel it?
That's so good.
I can feel it. And then after the chorus, call me the samurai son. Like you said, take what's mine. The trouble has just begun.
Yeah.
Lyrically, this song is way cooler than I ever thought. And I love it because, again, it goes back to that sort of like Kissin' Time thing where it says, walking the streets by the Ginza, spending the night at the Lexington Queen, dancing away into the sunrise, just getting crazy. You know what I mean. And the calling comes back. 1, 2, temples of Kyoto. 3, 4, calling my name. 5, 6, voices are calling. 7, 8, and I'll never be the same.
That's so cool. And like, think about how cool this song must be as a Japanese Kiss fan. Like, put yourself in those shoes for a second.
It's one of the biggest markets for Kiss.
It is. And imagine like being this diehard obsessed with this band and them putting out a song for you, referencing all of
All the
these
places.
things from your country and like your culture. That's so cool.
This really was a love letter to Japan.
It is.
And
I
think,
love it.
I read somewhere, I don't know if this is correct or not, because you can't really verify these things unless it's from the person themselves, but I read somewhere where it said that somebody from McGee Entertainment had taken a trip to Japan and saw how, the entertainment over there in Japan and Kiss are very close. And so it was like, Kiss needs to do something in Japan, with Japan, celebrate Kiss in Japan, celebrate Japan. And so we got this really cool, I call it a Kiss merger, a merger between Kiss and the entire country and culture of Japan that resulted not just in a song or two with a collaboration from MCZ, but it was literally like Kiss Japanese culture combining into one.
Cool. cool.
There was a and I'm going to do a video on this probably in about 6-7 months because it'll be the 10th anniversary of the song in January 2015.
Wow.
Or, well, it came out in 2015, but obviously January 2025 will be
Yeah.
the anniversary. But I'm going to do a video kind of clearing the air on this because I don't think people understand how awesome this era actually was.
Yeah.
They were doing so much cool stuff with the wood art.
Yes.
And the different things they were doing. So the collaboration was
This
just...
cover alone is incredible.
So the CD I had imported from Japan, yes, it comes with a really cool outer sleeve, a plastic sleeve.
Yeah,
You
it's
slip
neat.
it off, and there's the artwork right there on there.
Yeah, like
MCZ
iridescent.
and Kiss,
It's cool.
which that's the girl group that they're collaborating with on this track, MCZ. There's the artwork there with Kiss in the sky. Amazing artwork.
So cool.
On the back.
I think so many people were so quick to write this off
Because it was girls. Because it was Japanese.
Yes, yeah, because it wasn't for us directly.
Right.
And because there was like a J-pop girl group on it. And
Right.
I understand how at first glance
A bunch of 40-year-old men are going to be upset.
Yeah, who only like rock and roll. Like, I understand not wanting to open your mind to this. But if you were one of those people, I really recommend giving it another chance. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, once you hear the song, once you read the lyrics, once you start like listening to all the cool production that's happening, because this song has stuff that no other Kiss song offers.
Gets me pumped up.
It really does get you pumped up. And again, once I started studying these lyrics and then like just understanding them, it just takes the song to a whole other level.
Did you want to put that up there?
This one right here, I absolutely do. Yes. Real quickly though, feel the paper, the fine
wow.
special paper.
Yeah.
And then I forgot about the CD artwork.
That's
Look at
cool with the icons
again,
on it.
like it was the music, the imagery, everything that was with this was super cool. It was super Kiss, and yeah, it just, I don't know, it was so wild seeing all the negativity of Kiss's new song. It felt like this must be how it was like in '79 when Kiss said "I Was There for Loving You."
Yeah.
Because they do a genre switch
Yeah.
out of nowhere, and it isolates some, disappoints some, but yet it becomes a hit.
Right.
This song was a massive hit for
I'm
Kiss.
sure it was
like
in
it was
Japan.
like number 1 on the Japan weekly charts or singles charts, and
Okay.
then was like number 2 on the other one.
That's cool.
And I think like it charted very well in Japan and was a huge hit
That's great.
over there. So of course for us, nobody over here really got it, really cared. But like you said, it must have been fantastic for.
That's just so special
a-
for Japanese Kiss fans,
Yeah.
especially because they are so big over there.
Well, and it was fun for the American Kiss fans too, or
Yeah.
at least like me, because again, you're getting a new Kiss song, a new Kiss album, a new Kiss experience. This is imagery that Kiss has never really experienced with. I mean, you have "Hotter Than Hell," the album cover, which has some Japanese flair,
Yeah.
but it was like an Americana version of
Right.
it. This is like authentic.
Yes.
And it's really, really cool. So I've always had a special place in my heart for Samurai Sun, even though it's it comes across as embarrassing to some Kiss fans. This has always been a very triumphant song for me.
Yeah.
And this just reinforces that. I mean, it says, you never win when you run. Leave a legacy for all to see. Fight until the fight is done.
Yes.
What did Kiss do their entire career? They left a legacy for all to see, and they fought
till
until the fight was done.
Yep.
And they call me the Samurai Son. Living life with no regrets. You can't run from what you can't forget.
Nice.
Talk your shit, Kiss. Let's go. This song is amazing, guys. I'm sorry. I love it. Samurai Sun is fantastic. I put this song in the middle of the album on purpose.
Yeah, I'm glad you did.
Because it was going to be...
It got me like hyped back up.
Yeah,
it was
absolutely.
very good.
Absolutely. Yeah, number 1 on the Oricon daily singles chart and Japanese Amazon Pop chart, and it was number 2 on Japan's Oricon weekly singles chart.
Cool.
So, really cool. Next song we have, Hand of Fate.
I am flesh and fantasy. I hold the key to the open door. When you stand in line.
This is another Gene demo.
Is this-
I am the guillotine.
Yes.
Your primal
Is this the
scream.
one that starts out with the vocals?
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yes.
So this one, sorry to talk about the Beatles again,
I want you to.
but I immediately, first of all, I love those harmonies and those vocals at the beginning and end where they're just doing the ahs. It's so cool, but it also reminds me very much of a Beatles song called Because,
Okay.
which that's a slow song. It's not the same vibe at all. But it starts with those very similar ahs with different layered harmonies.
Okay.
And it reminded me so much of that song. It was really cool to hear that.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I would not doubt if that was maybe where Gene was kind of coming from, because we know that Gene obviously is a huge
course.
Beatles fan,
Yeah.
very influenced by the Beatles, and has put, Beatle-esque, things in his music before, so it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But yes, that was definitely really cool to hear. The opening of this song is literally Gene only. It's Gene's vocals layered
just him and
several
layered?
times.
That makes sense, yeah.
So this was demoed again with Tommy and Eric.
Okay.
Really cool. So there's your
3 members again.
There's your
Cool.
3 members right there. Or, well, your 2 minimum.
Yeah.
You got 3. Paul wasn't present, of course. But anyway, so yeah, Gene demoed this with Tommy and Eric musically together in a studio. And I think did the vocals at home.
Okay.
Separately.
Okay.
In a home studio. I read an interview where he did all the vocals himself, harmonizing with himself, and then layered them to get a perfect blend. He wanted
So
a
good.
perfect blend, which he's really good at harmonizing
Yes.
with himself. We're going to hear more about this later on in another track that I can't wait to talk about. I know you can't either. But anyway, so yeah, having Gene harmonizing with himself was fantastic. But once the song kicks in, again, it is a demo song, so it's not the highest quality, but it is a heavy track.
Yeah.
It is a heavy track. And I kind of, in a way, dreamed this song, which sounds crazy. I can't say I manifested this song, but when I cannot make this up. So originally, this is a vault track, by the way. I should mention that.
I
It's
figured.
another vault track.
Okay.
And we didn't get the vault. Not the big vault, not the little repackaging of the vault. We got nothing with the vault. So I only heard this song very, very recently. This right here, Hand of Fate, was the first. This is the first song on the album that I was truly hearing for the first time.
Yeah, I'd never heard this one either.
Obviously, right here, right now, in Samurai Sun, I loved, heard them, forever. But the other songs, like Ain't Gonna Die, Without You Got Nothing, listen to it maybe once and kind of forgotten about it. So it's really cool to revisit that. Hand of Fate, I had never heard before.
No, me either.
So this is the first time that I'm hearing a new Kiss song in a long time, and I can't tell you how good I was feeling. But I got a little spooked because, again, I quote-unquote dreamed, manifested this song. You're thinking, what do you mean, Xander? So originally, I wanted to do an episode, not like this, where I actually did, before I had the idea to create a new Kiss album, I wanted to do an episode where we talked about what we would have liked to have seen on the Kiss album.
Okay.
Or where could have Kiss gone with their next studio album.
Right.
So in preparation for that episode, I was like, oh man, how cool would it have been to have a Gene song that was called I Am.
Okay.
And not to make it biblical, but I guess you could if you wanted to, but how cool would it have been to have a song where Gene just, the whole time, I am this, and I am that,
Yeah,
I
that
am,
is very Gene.
in my mind, I said, I am evil, I am pain,
Right.
I am what drives you insane. So those were my make-believe, lyrics in my head. These are the real lyrics.
I was gonna say.
I am pleasure and pain
okay.
inside your brain. I am everything you want. I am this. I am that. So I'm hearing the song that I thought would
That's
be cool to hear from
crazy.
Gene. And I'm like, am I this is kind of weird.
Did I make this happen?
Yeah, and obviously I didn't because this song was recorded around Sonic Boom Monster. So again, this is like a 29,
but the fact that you
2012.
hadn't heard it and still kind of made it up in your head is
Here I
wild.
am. This was last year, so 2023. I'm like, man, how cool would it be to hear a Gene song where he's like, almost like Cosmic Heart.
Yeah.
Where Ace, I've, done this and, I've traveled all this world. I've tasted all that life has to offer and I'm just still the baddest, So I was kind of like, well, that'd be cool to have a Gene song like that too. And this is it. And I also had an idea for a Gene song that was called Jekyll and Hyde. Because Gene always plays he's the business Gene, but he's also the demon.
Right.
And I
He has
think
all these different
I
characters.
think he even named his boots Heckle and Jekyll.
Okay.
I'm not sure if I think that's correct. He named his boots at one point Heckle and I'm not sure if that was real or if it was just as a joke in an interview. But I thought, how cool would it be to have a Gene song, a demon song, called Jekyll and Hyde?
That would be so cool.
Guess what?
He says that.
In the lyrics, he says, I am Jekyll and Hyde. Deep inside, I'm crawling up your spine. So I'm sitting back, almost, freaking out.
Yeah.
Because not only am I hearing a quote-unquote new Kiss song, I'm hearing this song that I kind of was like, how cool would it be to hear? It was wild.
That is wild.
It's still really wild. But these lyrics to me are absolutely awesome.
They're
I
so
wish
good.
this one had made it to a Kiss album.
Yeah, this one I think is
This would have been
my
the
favorite
one.
Gene one that you put on here.
This
that
would
I
have
had
been
not
the
heard.
one to make it onto
And I
the
feel like
next
this one
Kiss
is
album.
the most developed, especially lyrically. Like we talked about how some of the
Yes.
ones earlier in the album sonically very cool, but lyrically underdeveloped. This one is solid.
Yeah, I'm going to read these lyrics because this is the only one that I could not find on YouTube. So you'll find our playlist on YouTube to listen to the album, but this is the only one that I could not find a good version of on YouTube. So this one, in place of this, has an extra song. I'll get to that in a minute. But I want to read these lyrics because, again, these lyrics are great. We talked about how, some of Gene's lyrics underdeveloped, but this song right here, I am pleasure and pain inside your brain. I'm everything you want. I'm the sting of the lash. If I'm the flesh, I'm the thrill of the hunt.
What?
The sting of the lash.
like
getting whipped?
Ooh.
Yes. I'm leather and lace in your face when you crawl on all fours. I am flesh and fantasy. I hold the key to the open door. So that's the verse, and here's the chorus and slash pre-chorus, chorus, bridge. When you stand in line at the pearly gates, be sure you stick your hand out and shake the hand of fate. That's the chorus.
That's so cool.
That is metal.
Yeah.
I am Jekyll and Hyde. Deep inside, I'm crawling up your spine. I'm the guillotine, your primal scream. You just can't live without.
So demon. So demon.
That is what I want
Yeah.
from Gene.
Yeah.
Look, I like Sonic Boom and I like those songs, but hearing Gene talk about
They're corny.
Take off your clothes, mama.
Yeah, they're corny as hell.
out of the frying pan into the fire. It's like, no, I don't want those. I mean, they were doing the 70s Kiss thing.
Right.
Which is great. That's fine.
Right.
But Monster was where it was at. Wall of Sound.
Yeah.
The Devil is Me.
Yeah.
You're always going to have your, Eat Your Heart Out and Take Me Down Below's. But Wall of Sound and Devil is Me, that's the direction. Back to the Stone Age.
Yeah.
Kiss the Ring and let them... Oh, man, those lyrics are great. So that's my kind of Gene. That modern version of Gene is what I wanted. And this song right here is it.
It's so
So
good.
this should have been on the next Kiss album. This is the name of the album. Hand of Fate.
Is it real? Can I finally look at this? This is my first time actually. I've seen it like...
We'll talk about it more in a minute, but yes, go ahead.
I've
real quickly.
seen it like in passing, but I haven't actually got to study it. Hand of Fate. So
Hand
that's
of
what you
Fate.
chose to call it.
That's what I chose to call it.
Cool as hell.
I really struggled
Okay.
with a name for the album. Sonic Boom and Monster have no songs on those albums called Sonic Boom and Monster, so I thought, well, maybe I'll just make up some other name. And I had a couple names that just sounded like I was trying way too hard. Nothing made sense. Nothing worked. And so I thought, well, what song best represents the album? Samurai Sun? No. Ain't Gonna Die? Yeah, but the word ain't wouldn't be in a Kiss title.
No.
Not gonna work. Right Here, Right Now? That's cool, but it's already a song and a single. What separates
if Fire and
this?
Water weren't a cover, maybe.
Fire and
but
Water would have been great, but it was a
No.
cover. So what best represents this? Hand of Fate.
Yeah.
It was the Hand of Fate that brought Kiss together. Yeah. It was the Hand of Fate that let Kiss last 50 years. When you get to the line at the pearly gate, make sure you reach your hand out and shake the hand of fate.
That's cool.
And again, it was the first song, the first new song I was hearing on this album. And so that's why I wanted it to be
that's incredible.
Yeah, the name of the album. But Hand of Fate, definitely one of my favorite songs on the album.
Yeah.
The bass line, absolutely slamming.
Yes.
Another nasty solo from Tommy. Very short song, but very short, sweet to the point.
Yes, and I love that it ends with those layered vocals again. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, listen to that song and then listen to Because from Abbey Road, and you'll hear the similarity with those layered ahs. So cool.
Absolutely. The next song we have, track number 8, another Ace song. We have Your Wish Is My Command.
Your wish is my command.
So this song I had a personal beef with.
Yes.
Which I will get to that shortly. But I have gotten over it. I will say that. This is track 3 off of Spaceman. So track 1 we heard earlier, Without You I'm Nothing. This is the 3rd track on that same album. This was written by Gene.
Right.
Completely written by Gene. This was a finished song by Gene that he brought in. This was supposed to be on the next Kiss Studio album.
Yes, I remember this.
And so here's where my personal beef with the story comes into play. And I've mentioned it on the show before, so I'll just quickly cover it just to give you guys some context. So when I met Gene in 2013, I was 18 years old. I was just graduated high school, was still really young and just really excited about life and everything, but had gone through a really dark period in my life and had a conversation with Gene where he was kind of, giving me words of advice and, just really talking to me to human to human, which is really nice, really refreshing. So I was really, down in life and, was talking to Gene, and he was kind of in that moment, again, it's a meet and greet. So he was like, being really nice and like helping me work through as quick as he could this issue. And at the end, in a way to like, kind of like lighten the mood a little bit, I asked him, will there be another Kiss album? I loved Monster. Will there be another one? And at the time, they were
yes.
thinking about it.
Yeah.
And even if you go back and read that Monster fanzine or that Monster Zine Pack edition, they talk about how they just are happy making music and they want to keep doing it. And then, their mindset changed and it just didn't work out. But Gene said, yes, there's going to be another Kiss album. As a matter of fact, I'm writing a song right now called Your Wish Is My Command. And it is going to be the next Kiss hit, the next Kiss single. I want it to be on the album. It's going to be great.
I think he told you it would be the next
Rock and Roll All Night.
That's what I remember.
And this was before he had told anybody that.
That's
so
crazy.
I was the first person that I know of publicly to hear about this song going to be on the next Kiss album. And he also, for the first time to everybody that day, talked about the Spider.
Yes.
The Spider stage.
From the tour. Okay.
Suddenly, after that, you heard all about the Spider, and then he started doing interviews talking about Your Wish Is My Command, and then it came to pass that he gave it to Ace.
Yeah.
For Ace to use on his new Ace album, since it wasn't going to be used on the next Kiss album, and that bothered me.
Yeah.
Because I heard it first from the man himself
Yeah.
that there's going to be a new Kiss album, and it's going to be a song on there called Your Wish Is My Command, and it's one of the best ever. So I lived with that for a while.
Yeah.
And I do believe that Gene was serious. He's happy with the song. He liked it. He wanted there to be another Kiss album, and he thought it was great. And he wanted me, a fan...
He wasn't intentionally lying.
No, of course not. And he wanted me, a fan, to feel good, which I did. But of course, when you get too obsessed with stuff, you carry that with you.
Yeah.
And when it ended up on Ace's album, and there's no Kiss album, and I heard the song, and it's not even really that great.
No offense, but it was never going to be the next Rock and Roll All Night, even if it was Kiss.
So I was kind of let down.
Yeah,
but now I'm a little more grown. I'm a little more mature. I'm not, done with it. It's great that the song made it
somewhere.
An official release.
Yes.
It's cool that Gene and Ace are still collaborating.
Yeah, and there are Kiss members on it. Yeah.
Gave it to Ace, and you have Gene co-writing with. So I don't know if Gene plays bass on the track. I heard conflicting yeses and nos that Gene was actually playing bass on this song, but we know that he's at least wrote the song.
Okay.
And Ace is performing, so there's the two members right there.
Right.
The song has actually grown on me a lot more. I think Ace's solo is nasty.
It is really good.
Really cool shredding, but no, this definitely is written by Gene because there's a lyric. He says, "I know you can do it." What's he say? I know you can do it. I got the magic in me. I'll put the magic in you. And I was like, oh dear. I got the magic in me. I'll put the magic in you. I'm like, that is definitely written by Gene. So, I don't know. It's still a really fun song.
Yeah, if you
I
take
like it.
If you take it for what it is and like try and take out that backstory that you do know,
yes,
it's a solid Ace song.
What's really cool about this is that Hand of Fate, the last song, starts and ends with that Gene acapella vocals.
Yeah.
And once it ends, this song starts with Ace acapella.
You're right.
He says, "Your wish is my
It's a really
command."
cool intro. I really like the intro.
And then it goes right into the intro. So it's really cool. So you're hearing like Gene on the mic harmonizing, and then he steps away, and Ace steps up and starts his song on the album.
Yeah.
So that's, again, kind of why I placed it the way I did.
I like that.
It's still a really fun song. The next one is IOI.
What can I say or do to get back to you? I can't stand it.
Soul Station.
One of Paul's songs from Soul Station. So this album could have been littered with other songs as well from Soul Station, but I only kept it to one. If you're on YouTube listening to our playlist version of the album, The song Hand of Fate I mentioned I couldn't find is replaced with Save Me From You from
That one.
From Soul Station's album Now and Then. So if you're hearing the YouTube album of the version, the only difference is that Hand of Fate by Gene is not on there, and it's been replaced by a second song from Soul Station, which is fine, because I could have easily taken that Soul Station song and had 2 on here.
Right.
But I didn't. I just kept it to 1. But I chose IOI. So you obviously have Paul Stanley singing. You have Eric Singer on drums.
Yes.
There's your 2 Kiss members.
Yeah.
Soul Station's album Now and Then I thought was really, really good.
It's so good.
We've talked about many times how, we felt better about the originals. I'm more akin to Paul and his songwriting than I am those other songs. Even though they were great and they were
they're
great covers.
classics. Yeah.
Classics. I was so drawn to those originals.
Yeah.
And Save Me From You and IOI are the 2 best ones.
Yeah, and I think before we even, dug into it more and figured out which ones were originals and which ones weren't, I think we were automatically drawn to those anyway, because you can just tell
absolutely.
that they're written by Paul Stanley.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah.
Oh, you could tell.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm curious, I love IOI, and I was so excited, because I did not have, this version with the track list on it when I listened to this, so I didn't know what was going to be next. So I was really excited to hear that beginning of IOI.
For sure.
I am curious what led you to choose IOI instead of Save Me From You to begin with.
So, that's a good question.
Or was it just felt right
at
in
the
that
end
place?
At the end of the day, IOI felt more Kiss.
Okay.
That's why. We talked about how in our Paul Stanley episode earlier this year, we talked about Paul's solo albums and talked about a little bit about Soul Station. We talked about how there's a lyric on IOI that says, "I can't stand that."
Yes.
The big Paul Stanley vocal.
Yep.
And there's the exact same thing on Live to Win. There's a moment where he says the exact, I can't
In the same
stand
way,
it.
yeah.
In the same way. So IOI starts off more chill, and then it builds and builds until the very end. You have Paul Stanley using his full Paul vocals, because on Soul Station the idea was not for him to take those silky smooth songs and make them into Paul powerhouses.
No, or make them really even rock and roll.
Fit the mold for that music.
Yes.
And tailored his vocals to that.
Yeah.
He's using a lot of falsettos,
Yes.
lot of held back vocals, but on IOI, by the end, he is in full Star Child mode. And Save Me From You, I think, is the better song and more my favorite. But melodically, it's way better. But it is more chill and it belongs more on Soul Station. Between the 2, IOI was just the more Kiss, the more upbeat. Eric's 4x4 beat on the floor is great. You got something to say?
Yes, I do. The bridge of this song is so good.
5 o'clock in the morning?
Yes. First of all, there's a key change. It goes up, and that's when he really starts using those
bigger vocals.
5 o'clock in the morning, alone in my room. You're not here beside me. It's so good. And
That's some shit right there from 78 Solo album. Right there.
And
That is from 78 Solo.
is.
It sounds just like it.
And you know what? That bridge is so good that he does it twice. Do you notice that?
Oh, no.
We get it twice, and it's even better the second time.
Wow. No. I love a
love
good
it.
post-second chorus
Yes.
Paul Stanley bridge.
Yes, and it's great enough on its own. He could have left it there, finished with the chorus, and been done, but he did it twice.
That's really cool. Good
Yeah.
observation.
Yes.
So this song to me, production-wise, is more on the fun side, more uplifting.
Yeah.
I put this song on the second half of the album because so far it's been a straight-ahead rocker.
Yeah.
You got a little bit of frill and fun with Samurai Sun, but only now are you really hearing any other major instrumentation other than rock and roll instruments. But it's okay because it makes you feel, it gives me those Unmasked vibes.
Yeah.
We talk about how
okay.
Unmasked makes you feel more uplifting.
Yes.
And makes you want to dance and get up and move and get your blood pumping.
Yeah.
This song does an exact same thing.
I agree.
It starts off with a really great, quick Eric Singer drum fill.
Mm-hmm.
So that right there sets the tone. Paul's vocals are great, like you said, the bridge. So this song to me just felt perfect.
It's so good.
There were, I think, 4 originals on Soul Station Now and Then.
Okay.
2 of them, Save Me From You and IOI, are just absolutely goated.
Top tier.
This one I felt like was the most Kiss, so I put it on there.
It's so good. I really hope not to get too much into Soul Station stuff, but I really hope
Yeah.
Now that the End of the Road is done, Kiss is done, I really hope that we get more Soul Station.
He talked about how he was doing another album.
Yeah,
and he was
and-
doing a live video concert release, and I haven't seen either of those, and I
Yeah.
hope it's not getting shelved.
I do think something will happen eventually. I don't think he's rushing it though.
Yeah.
But I just would love to see that happen. I would love to get a chance to see them live.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh.
That'd be amazing.
'Cause all those musicians are incredible. Yeah, very good choice.
So track number 10 is probably my favorite on the album as far as listening experience.
Okay, yeah.
Because this song gave me feels that I didn't know that I was going to feel.
Yeah.
And this song is amazing. It's called We Rocked It All Night.
And we rocked it all night. Yeah, they called us crazy.
This one threw me for a loop more than any song on the album.
Me
Because
too.
I hadn't heard this one either.
No.
Like most of the Gene ones. Had not heard this. And first of all, it's a bop. It's a really good song. And
Bop
like
is a great way to put it.
it's a bop, and the melodies in it are really cool and really interesting. But it feels like an alternate universe Rock and Roll All Night.
Yes.
That's what I thought when I listened to it. I was like, why am I hearing like Rock and Roll All Night lyrics, but like rearranged in
Absolutely.
a completely different way with a new melody? What is happening?
So this is another Vault track.
Okay, I figured.
So this is another track that was demoed by Gene, Tommy, and Eric
Okay.
for Sonic Boom for Monster around that era. This song gave me closure
Okay.
on Kiss's entire career as a band. Because Monster, again, I loved Monster. It's still and always will be a top 5. But again, I wanted the next Kiss album. I was a freshman for Sonic Boom, and I was a senior in high school for Monster, and I wanted there to be another Kiss album when I was in college. I just wanted to hear more new Kiss, obviously. I just wanted it so bad.
Yeah.
And I heard Last Chance, the last song, other than Right Here, Right Now, but the last actual song on Monster, Last Chance. As it fades out, it sounds like Kiss is about to play again. The song fades out, and the guitar starts to hum, but the hum comes back even louder. Eric goes, dun, 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 and there's a pick scratch, and then it ends. So it sounds like dun, 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 new song, new album,
Right.
more Kiss, here we go, and we didn't get it,
Yeah.
and I was sad. And so with this demo and Hand of Fate,
Yeah.
these are the two songs that I was hearing for the first time ever, not knowing that they had ever been released or recorded.
Wow.
And that just gave me closure on hearing new Kiss music, hearing new Kiss songs, not just because it was a new song, a new Gene demo that I never heard, but because it was a really, really well done Gene demo that is extremely meta and autobiographical.
Yeah.
In a way that I was
it's like
not
a
prepared.
callback in a really cool, nostalgic way. But I can't get over the melodies of this song.
So I'm gonna read these lyrics. Now these lyrics are not official, even Hand of Fate earlier. So there are no official lyrics out there for these songs. Again, they're not actual Kiss songs. They were never released. Even though they were on the Vault track, they were released on the Vault track. There is no actual lyrics for these songs. So all I could do was listen to my ear.
Yeah.
And use what my ear heard. So these lyrics could be wrong, but I know there's several of these that are correct, and I want to talk about them because if you guys never heard this is one you can find on YouTube again. You can hear it on our playlist on YouTube. You're going to want to hear it because this, again. So it just made me feel so good as a Kiss fan. It starts out saying, well, I was born in New York, man. I play guitar in a rock and roll band. Electric Lady, you're my home.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear that?
No.
So it says, Electric Lady, you're my
okay.
home.
I don't think I fathomed that's what he was saying. Whoa.
So Electric Lady obviously is where Kiss
Yeah.
recorded. They spent a lot of time in Electric Lady studio. So he says, summer thoughts, everyone was stoned. I saw the harlots playing on my own. And then I called Miss Daisy on the telephone. So the Harlots of 42nd Street was another band that was Kiss's contemporaries.
Okay.
Back in the early days when Kiss was playing in
Okay.
New York, playing these club shows.
Yeah.
You had bands like the New York
New York
Dolls, the Brats, Kiss, and the Harlots of 42nd Street. So hearing those band names, you get a sense for the scene.
Similar vibe, yeah.
Brats, the
Right,
Kiss, the
yeah.
New York Dolls, that sort of New York street
Like
glam.
street
They called
androgynous,
it,
yeah.
They called it glitter rock.
Yeah.
So Gene is calling back to, I can think back to going and seeing the Harlots.
Yeah.
And I called Miss Daisy. Miss Daisy isn't a lady, it's the Daisy Club, baby. Remember that Kiss album from '73 that we reviewed last year?
Yeah.
That live audio was played from the Daisy Club, man. Wow. And Gene and Paul used to call these clubs, hey, can we play? Can you give an opening slot? Our band wants to play. Gene is reminiscing and digging
like
into
giving me
it.
chills. That's so cool.
I've got freaking
Yeah.
goosebumps right now because you don't hear this stuff from Kiss. Again, I'm done with the ladies looking fine and all that stuff. I want
Right.
to want to blow their mind. It's like, okay, whatever, that's cool, that's fine. That was cool.
Right, but we
on
need
Dress to Kill.
some real lyrics.
That was fine on Dress to Kill when you were 20 and dumb.
Yeah.
But I want to hear you put pen to paper, man. Like
Right.
Within, one of the best Gene songs
Oh
ever.
my gosh.
Love that. So hearing Gene talk about going back, and he says, I was born in New York. He wasn't born in New York. He was born in Israel.
No.
Chaim Vitz was born in Israel.
Gene
Simmons was born in New York.
Ooh.
Gene Simmons plays guitar in a rock and roll band. Electric Lady, You're My Home. I called Miss Daisy on the telephone and we rocked it all night. They called us crazy, staying up all night until dawn, till the morning light. Now this is the part where I don't understand the lyrics quite well. He says, and all the girls with ruby lips were hanging out and Bernie takes a trip. No talking heads to cramp my style.
Talking Heads, that's also a band. Okay.
The Talking Heads is a band.
Yeah.
They're a New York band from
Yeah.
75.
Wow.
So the time is a little bit off,
But still, it's same.
but it's
General
New York
era.
70s,
Yeah.
they're like a
Cool.
punk band. So he says, no talking heads to cramp my style.
Yeah.
None of those guys. And the lead singer, I think his name is like David Byrne or something like that.
Okay, so
Bernie takes a trip, hanging out with the girls in ruby lips.
Yeah.
Bernie takes a trip. No talking heads to cramp our style.
Wow.
So he's giving you a feel for the scene for what it was like, back in the day. He says, yeah, and we drove them wild.
Yeah.
We drove them crazy. We rocked it all night.
That's been stuck in my
Until
head.
dawn. Yeah.
I love that.
This song is really great.
That's so good.
The best part of the song for me, though. So again, he's talking about Kiss's legacy. I was born in New York. I play guitar in a rock and roll band. We're recording Electric Lady, calling Miss Daisy. No talking heads. And then he says, and now, present day, all around the world, all the places, everywhere, Kiss painted faces. That's my favorite part. He says, now around the world, in all the places, everywhere, Kiss painted faces.
Wow.
You drive us wild, and we'll drive you crazy. So there's where the inverted or
Yes.
sort of like Rock and Roll Night comes back.
Yeah.
And at this point, it kicks right into the guitar solo, which has a live crowd dubbed underneath.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And this to me is what really started to bring a tear to my eye, because we all know that Kiss Alive is what really captured the essence of Kiss. They had some really great songs and some good studio albums, but nothing was as great as Kiss Alive. And so hearing Gene on this song talking about the origins of Kiss, talking about getting going, and then as soon as he references Kiss's first biggest hit on Kiss Alive, you hear the live crowd underneath the solo cheering as Tommy, as it were, plays the solo.
Wow.
And that to me was just musically as Kiss as it gets. I'm seriously, around the world, all the places, everywhere, Kiss painted faces. Love it.
That's so good.
He says,
Just hearing him say Kiss in a song is so good.
yeah. He says, make up faces, can you hear that sound? We turned the whole world upside down. Once I was lost, but now I'm found.
I know, I noticed that too. I
Same,
was like,
Gene, same.
yeah. Little Amazing Grace reference in there.
Yeah, so
Wow, that's
this
cool.
song to me, this song in Hand of Fate would have 100% ended up on the next Kiss album, and should have.
Yeah.
This song, again, being very meta, only Kiss fans will get the lyrics to this song.
Yes, this is a
Everybody,
song for Kiss
yes,
fans.
nobody's going to know who the Harlots are, and Electric Lady, and Calling Miss Daisy. Those are things that only people who know their history know.
Yes, it's very specific references.
And if you're listening to the new Kiss album, a new Kiss song, you feel a part of something that nobody else can get. Everybody else can hear this song, and they just hear a song. You're hearing the message. You know the history, the history.
Yeah.
This song, like I said, it truly gave me closure on Kiss's catalog as a recording band.
Yeah, I'm really excited to listen to this again, because having this song with no context and no lyrics in front of me, sometimes, without having read the lyrics, I don't necessarily catch them all on the first few listens. So hearing you read all of those back to me, definitely
Amazing.
That's incredible. I can't wait to listen to it again.
And this song could have easily closed the album.
Yeah.
And originally it was going to close the album.
Yeah. But
But there was one more that had to close the album. So, Daphne, take it away.
Venus and Mars.
Rock show.
/ rock show from Art of McCartney.
Venus and Mars are alright tonight. There's a rock show at the concert before you got.
I am so happy you put this on here. Obviously, you guys know I'm a huge Beatles fan. And a few years back, probably going on a decade back by now, I don't know how long ago that came out, but there was a project that came out called Art of McCartney where all of these different artists...
That was 2014, so it's 10 years.
Oh my gosh.
10 years this
ago.
November.
That's crazy. But a ton of different artists from all different genres, but like big... All eras, yeah. Like current, like more pop artists, older artists, different genres, all did covers of Paul McCartney songs just as like a tribute to Paul McCartney. Some of them were Paul solo songs, some of them were Wings songs,
I'm
like
gonna
this
check
one.
time, but you keep going.
Yeah.
You keep going.
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm gonna check the time, but you keep going.
Okay. Yeah, some of them were Wings songs, like this one. And when we saw that Kiss was on this track list, I was so excited.
I was pretty mind blown.
Yeah. And you know what? I have a copy of Art of McCartney.
Oh, do you?
I should have
For
brought
sure.
that. I should have brought that in
yeah.
here.
Yeah, I was kind of putting all of the albums up here that I have.
Yeah, we were running out of
reference.
space anyway.
Yeah,
but-
well, I only have 4. I don't have a copy of Spaceman or The Vault or,
Yeah.
all that. So I can only put the albums here. But no, yeah, it's... What an amazing cover.
Yeah, well, first of all, I love this song to begin with. Venus and Mars is one of my favorite Wings albums ever. And I love that song. It's so quintessential Paul McCartney songwriting. And hearing, it's just so cool. And the way they recorded it, it's Gene vocals at the beginning and then Paul after that, which I love any Kiss song that has both of them on it.
Absolutely.
It's so good.
Yes, so this is one that unfortunately only features Gene and Paul.
Was it not billed as Kiss though?
It was billed.
Okay, that's why I thought it was.
This is where,
Kiss.
and this is where Kiss, of course, Kiss always catches strays, man. They were dragged because of this.
What?
It wasn't their decision. It wasn't their fault. But I read numerous, even in preparation for this, was reading reviews from back in the day that said how deceiving of Kiss to bill this as Kiss and only include Gene and Paul. It should have been Peter and Ace. It should have been Eric and Tommy because they're the ones in the band now.
members.
Whatever it was, there was always a reason. How dare they bill this as Kiss? First of all, it was the people who were putting together the album that billed it as Kiss.
Right.
They reached out to Gene and Paul and said, do you want to be on this album? Gene and Paul, huge Beatles fans, huge Paul McCartney, absolutely. And they picked the song up
That's
themselves.
what I was going to ask. You think they picked this?
They did choose this song.
Oh, what a perfect choice.
And they recorded it and submitted it, I think, in around 2010.
Okay.
This was recorded in 2010.
2010?
This album took, I don't know if it took a decade or almost a decade to get together.
Yeah.
But this album was years
in the making. Okay.
At least 4 or 5 years.
Wow.
It took to get this album. So Gene and Paul already had their contributions made around 2010.
Interesting.
And it didn't get released officially until 2014.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. But when this came out, no, I was absolutely excited because, again, I was waiting for that new Kiss album. I didn't get it. So we got this, and we got Samurai Sun. So I got little nuggets and things here. The new international version of Monster with the bonus track. And so I was getting, crumbs, but I wasn't getting fed like this. So that's why I put this together.
And going back to people being upset that there weren't more members on it, I'm sorry, but like if you're upset about that, then there's so much you don't know that you're going to be pissed about.
There was a reason why it was only Gene and Paul. Because the guys that were playing drums and guitar on every song were from Paul McCartney's band.
Oh, okay.
So,
see, I didn't even know that.
So if somebody asked, I'm just going to throw out a name, whatever, Jimmy Page, Jimmy Page isn't going to play guitar on the album.
Who's referenced on this song, by the way. Anyways, go ahead.
Yes, he is. But I'm just going to say randomly, if Jimmy Page was going to be on this song, he wouldn't play guitar because Paul's guitar player is going to play guitar.
Okay.
He's going to either sing or write or do whatever else.
Yeah.
The reason why is because you have to have consistency on the album.
Okay.
Every song musically is being played by Paul's band.
Yeah.
It's Paul's band with other artists singing songs. Otherwise, you would be hearing a bunch of different production styles,
Yeah,
bunch of
and
different drumming styles and guitar
understandable.
styles. And so to have, you're hearing a Paul McCartney album
Yeah.
with the artist's interpretation.
Yeah, and I
And it was
understand
very
that because
important
you're
to
already...
have that consistency.
Yeah, I understand that because you already have so much variety with these different vocalists and different artists' interpretation of these songs that you need some kind of through line through all of them
Yes,
that is
you have to.
that's gonna make it sonically cohesive. So that is completely understandable to me, and I'm sure that Kiss is not the only band on
They are
this
not.
album
They are not.
that's the case for. And honestly, to me, like Gene and Paul on a song, that's Kiss.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, there are so many Kiss songs. There are full Kiss
Yes.
albums where it's not
Not
Ace on
the
guitar.
drummer or
It is
the guitar
not.
player.
It is not Peter on drums. It's Anton Fig. Like this is not new.
No,
That's
it's not.
nothing to be mad
and,
about.
And it just goes to show how the people that write these reviews just don't know what they're talking about.
don't know what they're talking about.
Because if they had actually listened to the whole album instead of reviewing the one Kiss song, they
Yeah.
would realize that the entire album.
yeah, and looked
There
at
was-
the credits on
and
all
there
of
was
those.
actually somebody else on the album who is known. Of course, it's been 10 years, but who is known for being a guitar player
yeah,
and was featured on the album, but didn't play guitar. They
right,
sang.
right.
And it was like, well, why didn't have him on the album then? Because it's like it's because it's Paul's band.
Yeah.
You know, playing the music together, all
Right.
consistently the same.
Yeah.
So that your focus is on the vocals and the lyrics and the artist's interpretation of that. You know,
Yeah.
so there were people that just, as always, just completely missed it. It was over their head. But this, like you said, this is the perfect way to close this album.
I'm so glad you closed it this way. I mean, this song is literally talking about being at a rock show.
It's an ode to rock and roll.
It
It's an
is.
ode to rock shows.
Yeah.
Gene and Paul are huge fans. Kiss started because of the Beatles. The last unofficial Kiss album is going to end with a Beatle cover.
I love it.
That was my thinking behind this. Is because this album, once you assemble it and listen to it, it flows very well.
Yeah, it
And
does.
it ends. This song was already good, but it ends very emotionally. Gene's harmonies in the beginning. We mentioned his harmonies on Hands of Fate.
Mm-hmm.
Hand of Fate. You can tell on this track that in the beginning he's really trying to do his best to sing. Like you can hear in Gene's vocals that he's not just okay. I'm gonna do one or two takes, and then what happens. We'll blend it. We'll go. No,
Yeah.
you can tell that Gene is singing his absolute best.
Yeah.
Trying to harmonize with himself because
Yeah.
he says this is for Paul McCartney.
Yeah, it's so special.
And his harmonies and his vocals are incredible on Venus and Mars.
Yes, and then when Paul kicks in,
And Paul comes in.
'Cause-
He takes Paul McCartney's vocals and makes them full Star Child.
yeah, and essentially, because on the original Venus and Mars Wings album, these are listed as two separate tracks. Venus and Mars being a very short, I mean, they flow into each other, so you would never know.
Right.
But it's not listed in the way that this is, Venus and Mars / rock show. It's like two separate tracks.
Okay.
So it's like the very short Venus
Interesting.
and Mars. So essentially, Gene sings the Venus and Mars song in its entirety. And then Paul sings Rock Show in its entirety,
Gotcha,
which is
yeah.
so cool.
And you also, at one point in Rock Show, you have Gene doing the oi.
Oi, oi.
Oi. And then he is a couple yas in the
Yes.
background. So even though you don't, I would have liked to have heard Gene and Paul singing at the same time.
Yes, me too.
That would have been cool. So they are kind of separate. But at that one part when he's like, the ring at the end of my nose
Makes
makes
me
me look
look
rather
rather
pretty.
pretty.
Yeah. You hear Gene and Paul going back and forth.
Yeah,
and
I love
that part's really cool.
Yes, and I love that like kind of spoken word part because Paul McCartney is a very like theatrical, whimsical songwriter.
He's very impish and whimsical.
Yes, good reference. But his songs take you to another planet, basically. And there's characters within the songs. Like
Kiss would never write Rock Show.
Yeah, and Paul is usually writing. I mean, he has a lot of very personal songs, but he also has songs where he's almost writing as a character. And I feel like the character changes in this song too, because they're talking about going to the rock show and all that stuff, looking at the stage and getting
Who's
excited.
that guy looking? Who's that man moving across the stage?
Yeah, looks a lot like the one used by Jimmy Page. So there's all that, but then when it transitions to the more spoken word part, it's almost like some kind of villain that we're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, in my green metal suit, I'm preparing to shoot up the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
the ring at the end of my nose. Yeah, Mademoiselle Kitty.
Kitty.
Yeah.
Oh.
So it's a really good way to close the album.
So good.
And what makes it even more special and kind of cool is that it's a rock song, so
Yeah.
it's a rock and roll song. But as it gets to the end,
Slows back
it
down.
quiets down, it smooths out a little bit.
Yeah.
The fade out is extra long.
Yep.
And Paul, you hear his vocals just fading out. We can't be late.
Yep.
We're going on a date. We're going to the rock show.
Yep.
Remember I said I was going to get some good seats at the rock show? Well, get your dress on. Put
Lacy,
your
wig
wig on straight.
straight.
You can't be late. You know,
I
so
lo-
as that is fading out,
So
like,
good.
I'm just hanging on to that.
Yes.
Because it's fading out so
The fade out was perfect for the end of this album.
And you're just like, I want to hold on to it. It's
Yeah.
like one of the longest songs.
It's a very long song.
It's like about 6-7 minutes long.
Yeah.
So it's one of the longest songs in the Kiss catalog, quote unquote.
Because
Not
there
really
are
Kiss
there are
catalog,
different.
but-
There's like 4 different phases of this song
and
that are
it's-
sonically so
it
different.
takes you on a journey.
It
I love it.
does.
So it's a
Love
perfect way
it.
to close the album.
Yeah.
Kiss began with because of the Beatles, and so they're going to end with a Beatles song, a song by a Beatle. There's 2 covers on this album. You have Venus and Mars Rock Show and Fire and Water, both very home to Kiss.
Yeah.
Guys, there you are. 11 tracks. Hand of Fate. I did do some really cool artwork.
Awesome.
I'm going to
That
be
turned out
talking
so
about
good.
this on the Patreon.
Okay.
I'm going to do a
cool.
whole video breaking down the
The way you designed
artwork,
that, okay.
the way I designed it. I have inside artwork too. You take off the so
I didn't see that.
I went full with it.
So good.
So check out. You can download the artwork for free on
Nice.
Patreon as well. I'm going to upload all the artwork. So if you want, print it out at home, make your own album.
Yeah, cool perk.
You can also stream the album on Patreon. You can't listen to it obviously on you can't make a Spotify playlist
Because of the demos and
because
whatnot.
of demos and
Yeah.
whatnot. We do have a sort of kind of YouTube list that you can listen to with ads and things like that.
Yeah, and with one song subbed out.
Check out our Patreon. You can download the artwork for free. Really cool stuff. But now it's time for the giveaway.
Yes, it's time.
Yes. So I know this is a long episode. I'm really wanting to keep an eye on make sure our time doesn't our camera doesn't stop recording because this is like one of the longest episodes we've done already.
Really?
So
Doesn't
far.
feel like it.
We're over an hour
Hope it
and a
doesn't
half.
feel like it to you guys, and whoever is still watching, thank you.
Thank you so much. It's almost an hour and a half.
Really?
And we're not done. This is a jam-packed episode. But so let's get to the giveaway because, like we said in the last episode, it was our 3rd anniversary, episode 99. So we wanted to do something really fun, really cool, do a giveaway. And Tom Higgins sent us an extra copy of the latest Classic 78 album, Phantoms, as well as this really nice extra large screen printed shirt. And so we said, you know what, we are going to give this away to one lucky fan on our show. And we had everybody in the last episode leave a comment on the in the comments saying, I want to enter the giveaway, and my favorite Kiss memory is. And that's how we knew you guys were going to be entered into the giveaway. And so I wrote down everybody's name who entered. Everybody's name is right here on a piece of paper. And nope, somebody fell out. We're going to put them back in. We're going to draw a name out of the Firehouse hat. And what we'll do is once we've drawn the winner, I will respond to the winning comment saying, hey, you've won. Please email us at this email address. Provide us a shipping address, and we will send this to you. No cost. We don't keep or store information. I will say this. If we do not hear from the winner by the next episode, then we'll have to redraw for the next episode. So
you better keep an eye out if you entered.
If you entered, hopefully you're watching, and if not, hopefully you're watching within the next week or so. Otherwise, we'll have to draw a different person. But anyway, so yes, we're going to go ahead and get to the drawing here. Somebody is going to be winning another Kiss album out of time.
Yes,
so
pretty much.
we have this new school album, but this album, Classic 78, is a bunch of Kiss fans who are writing and recording their own original music in the style of Kiss. Super cool, super fun. So Daphne, now this is all shaken up, you want to draw the lucky winner?
Oh, I would love to. I'm not gonna look. Gonna mix them around a little bit more. Okay, here we go.
And should I do a drum roll?
Yes, please. And the winner is M. Murphy.
M. Murphy, there you go. That's one of our longtime viewers right there. One of our
nice.
One of our big fans right there. You always
Yes.
see M. Murphy commenting and talking about his
Congrats.
Kiss memories. Awesome. I tell you what, you want to pull up M. Murphy's comment real quick?
Absolutely. So we can see what the memory is.
And we'll read his favorite Kiss memory. So M. Murphy, congratulations. And seriously, I see your name almost every week. Thank you so much for
That's
watching our
great.
show and for choosing to participate in our giveaway. I do really think it's really cool. I'm so glad that you won. and we're going to read out your comment. We could read them all, and as a matter of fact, I planned on it, but since we're already almost...
Yeah.
I don't think we'll have time, but I encourage everybody to go back and read those comments.
Yes, there were some really cool stories.
There were some amazing stories, and I think maybe in the future, once we do have more time and we're doing less of this, we'll come back to it because there was some stuff worth revisiting.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, so... you want to...
I'm looking here.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, here we go. M. Murphy. I want to enter the giveaway. My favorite Kiss memory is finally being able to see Kiss live in my 30s. I never had the chance as a kid, so it was a nearly lifelong dream come true. Not as exciting as meeting the band or some of these other memories, but I'll never forget it. You know what? It is just as exciting.
Dude, seeing your first Kiss show...
It absolutely is.
That's cool that you saw it in your 30s, because in your 30s... You're going to remember that.
And you're going to really appreciate...
I saw my first Kiss show when I was like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You don't remember it.
I know I was there. I have pictures. I have like a faint memory, but
right.
I don't have...
And it was such a long time coming for you that is that much more special when you finally got to go.
For real.
That's a great memory.
That really sweet. Now, you didn't say what tour it was.
It's true.
Let
us know.
Maybe it was in the road tour. I'm not sure. So maybe it was this tour, this last tour.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
We don't know how old M. Murphy is.
We don't know what tour it was. So tell us what tour it was. Let us know what show it was. And maybe some memories about that. But yeah, so that's awesome, man. Congratulations. We'll get this sent out to you as soon as you give us your shipping address, a good mailing address. We'll get this out to you. Thank you so much. Again, M. Murphy is the winner of the Classic 78 Kiss package. Thank you so much, Tom, again, for sending us an extra. And congratulations to M. Murphy on that. We'll have that sent out to you as soon as possible. And I guess we can quickly get to the Collector's Corner, because I do have something to show.
Okay.
Yes, I do have something to open real quick.
Let's do it.
You want to tell me where this looks like it's from?
Oh my gosh, Japan?
It's from Japan.
Oh my gosh.
Another Japanese import. Okay. Xander, what are you doing? Okay, episode 100, guys. Come on.
Yeah, you're right. We can't not do a Collector's Corner on episode 100.
Episode 100. It's got to be cool.
Who cares how long it is?
You ready?
Yes. Another one! You just couldn't bear to have let go of your automaton.
The Kiss automaton. So, I'm sorry. You guys thought I was going to show something vintage on the one? Something crazy, something rare, something expensive? No, you guys know me. I love the toys. I'm getting the toys. So, you initially got me this a while back.
Yeah, a few years ago.
And I'm not going to lie, when I got it, I was like, what is this? And it's Kiss.
It's cool,
so it's cool. It's Kiss, but what is this? And it kind of just sat on the wall over here. And I figured out that it's an electronic musical instrument toy from Japan. And I ended up giving it to our nephew for Christmas.
Who has been on an episode of the show before.
Yes, I decided, you know what, I'm gonna give our nephews a Kissmas, their very first Kissmas.
Yeah.
So they all got really cool gifts, and our nephew, middle one, got the Kiss automaton. And I was like, you know what, you should pop that open and let's play with it. Big mistake. As soon as we opened it, I was like, I want this back. I
should not have given that away.
Should not have given that away. No, this thing is cool.
It's very cool.
This thing is, it's really silly. It's just an instrument
that
once you put the batteries in, you use this little board right here to slide your finger and it makes a digital, synth sound.
Yeah, and you open the little mouth.
And that's how you, you squeeze the mouth and it opens up. And are we just going to open it up right now?
Oh, are you? Okay, so this is not for display. This is for playing with?
This is for playing with.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
I respect it.
I'm gonna learn how to play the automaton.
Yeah.
And learn to do some Kiss songs. I'm gonna rip the packaging. Not worried about that right there. There's that. Actually,
Who are you?
No, I am gonna have to do screw.
I'll have to add
so I'll have to add batteries later. But I will have this on a different video where I play the Kiss automaton. Look at that. There's the Kiss logo right there at the very bottom.
I can't believe I just saw you just rip open a Kiss
episode
packaging
100,
and throw it on the floor.
It's a new era.
You're a new person.
I'm done. On the Patreon, man, I told these guys, I said I did my first video with the Kiss wallets and thought, no more buying stuff to put it on the walls, on the shelves. I'm getting stuff to play with it and to have fun.
Why not?
Because it's time.
I feel like Rick from It's All For You Demon talked about this in one of his most recent episodes, how he's notorious for ruining Kiss merch. By using it or writing on it or whatever. But I love it. That just means that you're loving it and you're getting use out of it and you're enjoying it to the fullest instead of just looking at it.
I've collected for almost 20 years. Yeah. And most of this stuff I've just sat on the shelf.
Yeah.
And only now am I like, you know what? I want to open it. I want to use it. I want to
Why
finally
not?
get the enjoyment out of it. I'm taking wallets off the shelves. I'm using those. I'm opening up Kiss Automatones. So yeah, this is my next venture right here, is to learn this instrument.
I love it.
So
I love it.
I'm going to learn some Kiss songs on there. But there's my item for the day. And as far as Kiss Merch of the Year goes, episode 100, last time I showed something from 99, it's 100, so I guess that kind of means 2000. If it's ending
we're
in
doing-
00,
yeah.
I'm going to end it with 2000,
Yeah.
So the item I'm going to show here is actually the Farewell Tour disposable camera.
Cool.
Again, nothing crazy, nothing whatever, but this thing, I love it.
That's awesome.
Because it exists.
Yes.
A Kiss disposable camera.
Yeah, that's
I
so
love all this, the Kiss stuff that isn't relevant anymore.
Right. The Kiss, like
who uses
older
disposable
tech. Yeah,
cameras?
yeah.
I have a Kiss, the iBox speaker. It's like
Yeah.
it's a speaker for listening to music, but it's before wireless.
Right.
So you can only listen to it like 6 inches away from your
Right.
MP3 player, your CD player.
Right.
It's
It's
so
like
silly.
a cord this big.
You
that
don't
connects
even
it.
use that stuff anymore,
Yeah.
and so I love all the things that almost seem irrelevant now.
Yeah.
Like the things from back when we were kids.
From the 2000s.
Yeah, when we were kids. So the disposable camera from the Farewell Tour, I haven't had it for a few years now. This is something that you got on the Farewell Tour. I'm not sure if you got it at shows, maybe, but I know that once you took pictures and developed them, each picture would have a Kiss frame around
No
it or
way.
something.
Oh, I didn't know
It,
that.
it would have some album name or
So
a
that's, like,
year
on the
or whatever.
film.
It would have something on the actual
That's cool.
image itself, which is kind of cool.
Okay, now I feel like we need to find another one
Like
of
maybe
those.
right here, like 82
Yeah.
Killers, 77 Love Gun. Oh, you need to find one more and actually use it?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That's too cool. I'm sorry.
Maybe. These do go for like $100 now. So.
And I mean, it's old, so it might not. They might not turn out well, but like old
oh
film
yeah,
isn't
no,
the best.
I don't
but
think you can. It says to.
Well, it'll be expired, but it still will turn out something.
Yeah, I think it's expired in like 02
Of course it
or
did.
something.
Of course it did, but it will still work in some way. If we ever see a cheap one
Yeah.
of these, we're getting it because
And we'll
I have
use it.
to. I have to know what those frames look like.
Yeah, this is one of those things that when I heard about
That's
it and
sick.
saw that, I was like, no, I need one of those. That's it sounds weird. That's a holy grail.
Yeah,
I was
for
like,
you, that's cool.
I need the Kiss disposable camera. And then a year after that, I got the Kiss video camera, the flip camera, the actual
Oh,
HD
yes.
digital camera.
Yeah, which we shot an episode with a while
we
back.
did, and we might do it again at some point.
Okay.
But anyways, I wanted to show that
That's
too
cool.
for Kiss Merch of the Year. But hey, okay, here it is, guys. Episode 100.
Yes.
I've been planning this for a while. I thought, you know what? Rather than just doing a bunch of news stuff and doing what we usually do, why don't we have fun and create our very own new Kiss album? So Kiss fans out there, like I said, take this, run with it, make your own mixtape, your own CD, check out the playlist on YouTube, and enjoy a collection of Kiss collaborations from the last decade or so. And we'll just have this be our make-believe
I
new
love
Kiss
it.
album.
I love it. You did a great job.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. And again, check the Patreon out because you'll find more of this and as well as full breakdown and all that. So I really appreciate it. And you're probably thinking, what are you guys going to do in 101? What's going to happen in 101? Guarantee you have no idea. And you could never even guess. Should I give them a hint?
Be vague, but yes.
A vague hint? Okay. So we did a new Kiss album in 2024 in this episode. Next time we're going back to 1973, the very beginning.
You have no idea what's coming.
Next time we're going to
Please
go back
stay tuned.
to 73. In the meantime, M. Murphy, we're going to reach out and we're going to get your information and we're going to send you the Classic 78 package that you have won. Thank you everybody who entered. Thank you everybody who watches. Thank you everybody who comments. After 100 episodes, it does not get old. And I have so many other things I want to do. So much fun to be had. Thank you guys for being here. Please, even if you're new, please follow, and subscribe. Check us out on social media, Instagram and Facebook. Follow us on Patreon.
Yes.
And please support us over on Patreon. That's the best way to directly support us. But anyway, we just really appreciate you guys wanting to be here and talk Kiss. It's just, Kiss it's great music. It's great fun. We're post end of the road tour. We're all just trying to have our own fun and make our own fun. We relied on Gene and Paul for so long to make our fun for us. Go out on tour, do a new album, do a new release, do this and do that. Well, now it's up to the fans.
Yep, it's our turn.
To have our own fun. And so I really do thank you guys for joining us celebrating Kiss. I know it's been a long episode, our longest ever, but it's also been one of the most fun.
Absolutely. And thank you, like I said before, if anybody has watched all the way to the end, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate you, and we love this community so much.
Absolutely. And it's only going to keep going and keep getting bigger, hopefully. So please tell your friends, if you're a KISS fan, you have KISS friends, tell them about the show, get them involved. We just want all KISS fans to have fun celebrating KISS, not getting bogged down by what divides us, but what brings us together.
Yep.
And, what makes us one. And so thank you guys so much for joining us on episode 100 of the KISS Army Things podcast. My name is Xander.
My name is Daphne.
You guys peace out and have a great day.